Hi guys, and very welcome to Fauna Marin, and we are standing in, not between. I'm really sorry, that's not my mother language at all, but I try to make it understandable for everybody of you. We are now in the lab, and we are quite finished with our lab upgrade. And one of these upgrades, what you can see here, is at the moment a little bit often discussed MS, ICP-MS. It's the mother of all ICPs. Or not. Actually, that's our ICP section of the lab. That means we have two SpectroGreen, which is an ICP OAS, which runs since many years there, and it's great for saltwater testing. We have the ICP Blue, which is mostly used by many companies, which is great for reverse osmotic or freshwater testing. It's not so good for the seawater stuff. There are some videos out there in our channel who explain it a little bit better. Due to the high amount of salt, we need this specific machine, and there we can go very deep with the values so that we have also the trace elements under good control. Now, in the last years, there was a talk about MS, and MS is more accurate, it's more precise. It's not automatically like that. The difference is that the MS can detect some elements lower than the OAS version. So there you have the things for the heavy goods, and there you have the machine for the lower elements like chromium, like cobalt, like selenium, like rubidium, and some other specific elements which you cannot detect here with the ICP. This machine is not very good for specific elements or macro elements like calcium, magnesium, potassium, and these elements which we have in high amounts. For this is the ICP OAS perfect. For the ultra trace elements, which you mostly can see in the test is detected as zero or not detectable, this machine is quite good.
So I guess you are also using this machine for your own product from Fauna Marin for testing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, not only for ICP reasons.
No, we have the core farm, so it's quite interesting to see, but we didn't find a lot of elements which makes it absolutely necessary to have an MS test.
So would you recommend an MS test to a reefer with a normal aquarium? Is it necessary?
No, it's definitely not. Even is to understand that the MS part is a small part of the test. So other elements like calcium, potassium, strontium, whatever, is better to detect it in the OAS. Some people testing the test between, and it was clear to see that we come with the most elements on the same level and same down like we have with the standard MS, but way cheaper and more robust in the things. The MS is a little bit difficult, and the MS has a little bit disadvantage that you have to dilute the sample. It's not made by water, it's made by gas included in the machine, which is really good. The quality of this diluting is really fine. But you need to know how to run the machine and how to use it. My work is not to stand on the machine and writing some papers, which I write down how deep I come with an element, because the most elements which are detected so deep that we are way under micrograms, so 0.01 microgram, something like that, which is a trillionth part of a gram. And I see people running around and dosing and buying bottles and say, we have to dose it, we have to dose it. And 5 minutes later, they add some fish food which contains milligrams, so million times more of elements as they have at the moment in the bottle. And at the end, we only talk about that we can have numbers for iron, cobalt, chromium, rubidium, selenium, instead of the OAS mostly shows zero. But it means not automatically that it's necessary to dose them. If you have a proper care system, like we have with the Balling Light system or with the bolus or ready-to-reef system, the video about the ready-to-reef you can see at the end of the video, there's a link there. They have enough of these elements immediately in the system in. So even if they showed at zero and you look at your curves look fine, you don't need to dose that. It becomes too much. Or the amount of dosing is so low that they have no relevance. But it's perfect to see if some bad stuff is accumulating into the system. Let me say like mercury or lead, something like that. So now I have a machine who will detect that all the time. There is a little bit of lead, there is a little bit of mercury, always in every source. But it is so low that instead of having $1 million, you have 1 cent, and lower, half a cent. I don't know if you can keep $1 million, what the f you take care of a cent? That's the point, and that's the difference between the machines, which is sometimes not clear if you because we look on numbers, and 0.01 micrograms is like the thousandth part of a billion grams. This is really strange.
But we see the numbers, so...
We see the numbers and they look big.
Exactly.
And at the other side, every lab who has a mass, it's a part of that what you need, and the most of it, what we can detect here, is not really relevant. When we talk about arsenic or lead or some other dangerous stuff, the OOS can start with 0.2 micrograms, 0.5 micrograms. So, which is a millionth of a gram. And there we just detected, and even in that amount we say OOS, it's not dangerous for the aquarium. So we can start to work against this, or can start to search for the source. Really good is the MS that if you detect nearby the limit of detection from the OAS, for this machine is a lot of stuff there. You can have a more precise and more accurate result as you have at the center of limit of detection. And now we must say also something important. If you run a machine like this and you have a higher limit of detection, about 1 or 2 micrograms, this type of machine can go till down to 0.2, 0.5. So even with that you're way lower, and so it's not a thing to say it's good, it's bad, it's a type of mixture which guys like me use for interpretation. So every information I can get from this machine or from this machine is very important for us. We do something which is maybe also very interesting for you guys. You cannot buy a single MS test. Our system works totally different. If you want to have an MS test and you go to the registration to your lab, you can press MS testing as an upgrade. That means we have only the Reef total test, and in this test kit is everything we need to prepare the sample for MS testing. So you don't need to buy a separate test, so you don't need to ship a separate test. You only have your Reef total test, and every time when you ship one of these tests in, you can decide if you want to have an upgrade on certain elements on the MS. Exactly that elements which is perfect for that machine. All other stuff which we detect in all other relations will be doing by our machine, which we run now since more than 10 years. So you have the combination between the MS, between the OAS, but also between all the other machines which we use. And altogether now I think we have around 15 different lab machines working here to give you the best results possible. And for every element, for every nutrient, for every halogen, we have the best machine for you suitable for that. Like you can see here, that at the blue, which is perfect for our old water or for a type of fresh water, we use this machine. The same as we have the OAS from Agilent to detect specific elements of fresh water, the Spectro Green for the seawater testing, the MS for the ultra low trace elements, and if you go with me to the other room, you will have the possibility to have all the nutrient stuff, you will have the orthophosphate, all the halogen stuff that you get, and you can also have all the dog testing, which means we can provide you from SAK to the phosphate organics, to the nitrogen phosphatic and the carbon organics. We can put it all in one test for you, and you can decide every time if you want it. With a very low price, you can add an upgrade, and we prepare everything for you, so you don't need to buy any test, and we save a little bit plastics and stuff and shipping around, which is really good for our reefs, and that's the way how we go. I hope you liked a little bit, and if you have questions, write it down. We will try to answer it as soon as possible. Many thanks for your interest. Bye bye. Have fun.